lighter, you know.
I like it. Looks good.
Yeah. I've basically been wearing a hat though, because it's keep
Yeah.
it out of my way. But
Yeah. Oy. Oh, you know what I might need you to do? Because every time I have an issue with it, is can you download the audio version of Isaac's?
I downloaded the MP4, so do I just need to convert that somehow? Or do you save
How
it
did
off
we
of
do
Skype?
it last time? The MP4 will be fine if it's the whole thing. For me, it never downloads the whole thing into GarageBand.
Okay, so do I open it in like
Just
QuickTime and then
upload
download
it
it?
right now.
Okay. Upload the whole
Oh
MP4?
yeah. Actually, yes. Upload it in QuickTime and then take the audio out and then upload that to the drive.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, QuickTime.
Yeah, because my computer never lets me do it.
File, export as, audio only.
Yeah.
Let's save it to. Okay. M4A. Is that
That's
what
fine.
it normally saves it as?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Why do I not see? That's why. Podcast. Alrighty. M4A. All right, it's on its way.
Sweet. Sweet. Thanks.
You're welcome. So I'm looking at the questions for the short episode ones. I feel like one of these has to be about art show questions because we always have a lot of those. I got some at the top, near the top.
Yeah.
I don't really feel like talking about the glaze defects today, but
No.
there are other ones that I'm just looking at the other longer questions down below.
Oh, I think it'd be fun to talk about the production spotter thing.
The 40 pieces versus 80 pieces, 40 to 80 mug thing?
Yeah, it might be fun to do some math.
Yeah. All right. So we'll move that one up.
Okay.
And I don't really feel like talking about the holds and stuff necessarily.
Mm.
I feel like we like the ones talking about the production and business stuff.
Yeah.
Versus just straight technical, like process things with firings and stuff. I mean, that one might be good to tie in with the other one that talks about alternative firings such as Raku and Pit. I don't know. Or maybe that's its own
all
episode.
you. That's all you.
Raku and Pit. I'll also do Pit. Sagger. Sagger firing's cool. Soda, salt. There's a lot of options there.
Hello, import. Why aren't you importing? Why? Maybe I can just open it.
This will be a good one when we do another listener question. Silicosis safety aside, what's some unsolicited advice you always want to give but don't? I'll have to think about that one. That one's from Aletha.
Yeah, that one's a good one. Okay, I've got the Isaac shoe. Okay, hold on. I want to save this. Save as 108. I like when I'm like, Isaac, smile. 108, create. This Isaac. Okay, I just wanted to save that before I got up there and I can't download it.
Yeah. You're still going to have to upload it though, right?
Yeah, but that I put for that I put my computer on the windowsill and it uploads in 45 minutes.
Really? Oh my gosh.
It takes 45 minutes to upload.
So you just do it like right before bed, set it.
I can't see you. Why is your video gone?
Can't see me.
No, your video's gone.
What the hell? There we go.
There we go.
I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, no, I can't. I just like, yeah, it takes like 45 minutes to upload in my apartment.
Okay. And that's because you're doing it based on Rebecca's Wi-Fi? Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want to buy Wi-Fi because I literally don't need it.
I mean, couldn't you use your phone's hotspot?
Yeah, but my reception in the apartment sucks.
Oh, okay.
So
That's not
it's
good.
not any better. so yeah, I could have used it if I was still with T-Mobile. That reception was okay.
Okay. But the price is pretty good though. $25 a month.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't change it by any means. No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh, is that one question?
What?
This one is so long. This one question on here, the last one on art show questions. Oh my gosh.
Is it a short answer question?
It's under art show questions. Do you see
The
it?
one that says, "What would stop you from?" Shit, motherfucker, that is so long.
I wonder if that was from Instagram.
It must have been.
I didn't make note of who asked it though.
I remember this question.
It was from Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who it was though. And too bad you can't search inside DMs for actual text.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it's not worth looking for right now.
Nope.
Nopers.
Nobody, nopers.
It was kind of recent though, from what I remember.
Yeah, it was.
Alrighty. Doesn't show that on there. What's up with that? Let me test it out.
I wanted to tell you that
blah, blah. 1, 2, 3.
Chicken Shit Ceramics is chicken shit.
Chicken chit.
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 Yes, I saw it on actual Instagram, but we have it misspelled on here.
I know, but I just corrected it because I actually noticed that the other day too.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so this looks good. All right, I'm tested up. I'm good.
Let me test. I think I'm.
So, is the first one we're gonna do?
Test. Yeah, we're good. The first one's gonna be the production one.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
The other art show one was how many pieces do you bring? Yeah, that's basically the same as what this other person asked. Okay. All right. Do you want to start at 45 seconds after?
Yes.
Are we going to do any kind of intro thing or anything like that?
We'll say follow Patreon, blah, blah, blah.
All right.
Because we're doing short, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's 45, right?
I just did it.
You clicked it after me.
I mean, there's probably a delay, but you know. Are we redoing it or are we good?
No, we're not redoing it. We're
All
fine.
right.
We're live.
We are.
Ryan got a haircut today.
I did. I'm not usually a day of enjoying the haircut, but that's all right. I'm also drinking a Stella cider.
I'm drinking a Truly because somebody brought Trulies to my apartment, and why not? Not terrible, I guess.
Do you normally drink seltzers?
No. No, I don't.
One thing about me, I fucking hate sparkling water.
Yes, you do.
Seltzers? No. Get that shit out of here.
Would you drink it if it was like dead?
Flat?
Yeah.
No.
Gross.
No, I mean, doesn't it still have a taste that it's like flat? It doesn't just taste like water that's flavored, right?
I don't know. I've never had one that's
Probably
flat.
a little off.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Anyway, we're doing a short episode today. We do want to tell you that we have a Patreon. The link is in the show notes, but if you just Google Wheel Talk Podcast Patreon, it comes up. And if you want to support us, that's great. If you don't, that's also great. But you can see our faces.
Yes, we're uploading.
You can see Ryan's new haircut.
Yeah, about once every couple weeks, I upload a video version of the podcast. It won't necessarily be the newest one. It could be a past one. So you'll get some fun ones in there. And I think we're going to have some that are just like the interviews with people. So you can actually see what their faces look like. So you don't just have to look at our ugly mugs every week. You
don't get the real juicy comments in the interviews, but you do get some fun comments. I usually stop the recording before we get into like the name callings.
Oh, you mean because you get the before and after?
Yeah, because you get the before and after the commentary.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if people like that with just regular. I don't know. There's probably been like 10 people that actually watched the videos that I've uploaded so far, but
right.
Anyways,
we should send stickers out to people or something.
To Patreon members? Is that what you mean? Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We probably need to order some more stickers, actually. You might
Yeah.
have some graphical work to do in this soon, actually.
Yeah, I need to do that.
You committed yourself when we talked with Isaac, so.
I did. You know what'd be fun instead of t-shirts too is to have throwing towels. I was thinking about that today.
Oh, throwing towel. That sounds
nobody
like
has,
I like a bowling towel, but like a throwing towel.
yeah, like nobody has like everybody has t-shirts, but who has throwing towels? like
That's really fucking useful, actually. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not really a graphic tee buyer unless it's like really cool
Right, me
because you only
neither.
have so many of those. But
But a throwing
hey,
towel.
a throwing towel that says something inspirational or something that's just funny or fun.
Yeah.
Welcome to Wheel Talk, or
Yeah, I
a
think it'd be
dollar is a
fun.
dollar. Don't be like Becca.
Don't be like Becca. If you need money, find it.
Yeah.
What did Isaac say last week?
He said, I'm not interested in making art. I'm interested in making money or something like
Making
that.
money. Yeah. I'm not interested in making art. I'm interested in making money.
That's great.
Fucking love Isaac. Awesome. So, turning my phone on the do not disturb because I'm learning. What are we talking about today? Do you want to read the question or do you want me to?
Sure. So the question came from Jess Lee Pottery. It says, do you think it's more profitable to be a production potter and have a sale of 40 to 80 mugs at one time for a smaller price, or a potter who puts a lot of intricate details on pieces and only sells 10 or 15 mugs at a time for a higher price?
Cool. I think it'll be fun to do some math today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's specifically asking about profitability.
Okay.
And I mean, I think I don't know. Do we want to even talk about just like what you enjoy doing? Like, does that factor into it? Because
I think that does factor into it.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, when I see people selling pieces for like $80 and they're very intricate, detailed things, I'm like,
Did they
they're
make
not
any money?
like they need to price their stuff higher, but then they outprice themselves.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, man, that thing needs to sell for more money because I see like all the steps that go into it. But I mean, I don't know.
It's like I feel like there's this like invisible wall at the top that's like, oh, mugs are only $100 or $140 or whatever, like whatever price it
For
is.
most people, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like that's what they set their price at. Yeah, I think that profitability is one thing, but also, yeah, we have to talk about enjoyability.
Because profitability is actually what you make after you've actually paid yourself for the labor too. It's not
Yes.
just a profit after your materials are paid for, because that's where I would say the 10 to 15 mug person with super detailed work, I tend to think that they're undervaluing their time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I
you
agree.
know, and also I think there's more risk in there, right? Because if they have a loss to a piece that they put that much work into, it's actually a bigger hit to their time.
Right, like you want it to be lost at the beginning, not the end, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's give a price for
40 to 80 mugs production potter.
Okay, 40 to 80 mugs production potter. But also keep in mind that there's some people that do 40 to 80 mugs like high priced production.
Yeah.
Like Pitch
Are you
Pine
Yeah, that's the first person I was thinking of,
or
because she actually,
Elon. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of steps to their work.
Yeah, or even Kurt. Those are like a higher price. That's obviously your best bet. If you can pull out 100 to 120 mugs in a month and sell them at $100 to $120, that's
your nice spot to be in. Yeah.
I mean, that's 10 grand a month.
And they've also got to the point where they're like loss is not really
Right. They've
an
dialed it
issue
in
at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk about it as let's talk it as not a superhero. So we'll, 15 mugs a month versus 80 mugs a month. So 80 shitty mugs, or not shitty mugs, or
Production mugs.
80 production mugs.
Basic bitch mugs.
Basic bitch mugs. We'll say 60, between 40 and 80.
Yeah,
so
60.
Median. Okay, so 60 basic bitch mugs, and let's say your price is 35.
Sure. Let's get some paper out here.
Let's get some paper. So let's say your price is 35 for 60 mugs. That's going to be $2,100. Okay? Hi, Marble.
Enters marble.
And then let's say you're selling 15 mugs at 115, or say 100. Should we say 100?
Sure.
Let's do 115. That's $1,725.
Okay.
So
$1,725 in a month. So do we
right
want
off the bat, our production is already.
Marvel's basically kissing me right now.
Our production is already a higher,
You just
money.
you made
Higher
400 bucks more on the production one.
Okay, so let's assume that. Okay, so let's assume that it takes an hour for you to finish. Well, how long do you think it takes?
Why don't we go like per week? Can we go at a weekly basis or something and say you're finishing 12 mugs a week?
No, we got to do it a month.
No, I meant like break it down so you can actually figure out hourly how many you're actually producing. Or are we just going with just overall profitability?
I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out like how many hours are you putting into each one?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
So I wish I could text Tara right now and be like, how many hours do you put into each mug? Because she's fast, but she carves. Hold on. I'm going to text Merritt. She's my coworker.
Mm-hmm.
And see
the thing is, you can just say, we could just think about like for a ceramic company or, Tara, you kind of know the idea of what goes into that. And you can kind of guesstimate what the work is. It's throwing the mug, trimming the mug, adding underglaze or doing something like that.
Sgraffito, carving.
Yeah, design, like drawing on, carving through, and then firing, which is the same. Get it out, wiping it down, glazing it. She actually has the paint on the glaze. So, it's really front loaded on that aspect. And if it's like for a ceramic company, they are pouring all the different colors. So that's pretty front loaded, pouring the different colors for the carved ones. And then getting it out of the mold, there's probably very little seam, like there's no seams because it's a solid piece. So it's cleaning up the lip, making sure the lip looks good, and then carving. So that's very front loaded before it even gets to the kiln. Fire it, get it out, sand the carvings, sand it all, whatever. Glaze, simple, fire, simple, and then sand again. I feel like those pieces are probably at least an hour per mug, right? Does that sound reasonable? More than that if it's for a ceramic company because they're carving it. But
they're carving it, so I would say it's like 3 hours per mug to carve?
Probably. Depends on which size it is, but
yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that they have exactly how long it takes. So can we say like 3 hours per mug?
Sure.
That seems like a reasonable time.
3 hours 3 hours total from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what about the 60-piece mug? How long do you think is reasonable for that?
15 minutes?
20 minutes? 15
20
minutes?
minutes? 20 minutes? Do 20. Do 20.
Okay, 20 minutes.
Okay.
So for every single mug that you can do for the 15 one, you can produce 3, 6, 9. You can produce 9 mugs in 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. So 9 mugs at $35 is going to be how much?
Oh, I have the calculator.
I mean, that's way more.
9 times 35 is 315.
315. So you made basically double off of one.
So let's
Sorry.
do it for, let's say it takes 2 hours for a mug. Let's see how much. 2 hours at $100. How many mugs would you get? The fast mugs. 115 or whatever.
2 hours per mug?
2 hours per fancy mug.
Okay. 2 hours per fancy mug would be 6.
Okay, so 6 times 35?
Yep.
210.
So in the same amount of time, you made about $100 more.
Yeah. I think this goes like,
There's like the time factor. There's also the number of piece factor.
yeah. It's also so dependent on what you need as a human to like make stuff, you know? It's like somebody like me, I don't need to carve anything. But some people love to carve stuff and that's like that's what they love to do and that's what drives them creativity, like their creativity, you know? And so like is that money difference, like is it worth it to them?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. I think I mean, ideally what you want for those small number of pieces, you want to sell those directly to people, obviously, to cut down the expenses. So you're not like paying a gallery a portion of that. You are getting the money quickly from somebody. But also it depends, like if you're selling at a show, it takes a lot more to fill a booth.
Yeah. Hey, Charles.
And you're going to be depleted kind of quickly, maybe.
Yeah.
Charles.
Fucking Charles. I mean, I can't see any. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see any point where it makes sense to be fancy financially.
Well, I think the what you want is to balance it. If you do make fancy, you still should be making production pieces as well that can sell and get you some cash flow.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, I don't know. It seems like it would be a big hit when we talked about the loss and whatnot earlier, that if you have 15 pieces that you're making in a month, if you lose one, like that's a big hit. Or if you have like, and you don't have much to experiment with because these 15 pieces are everything you have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like with the production side, you can experiment, you can have loss, and it's not a big hurt because you're only invested 20 minutes out of it, just time wise. But also, it's like $35. It's like,
I also think that obviously the ideal situation is something like what Kurt is doing, where they've figured out like a super efficient process that is a production style process via slip casting, right? But they're producing a high quantity and they're producing a high quote unquote quality with a high dollar amount, you know, like $100 or $90 per mug, but they have 130 pieces. Like that's obviously
but
the most
that also
ideal
took
situation.
thousands and thousands of dollars up front to get to that point because
to
of all
get to that point.
all the experimentation, the learnings on the computer to graphically get that to that state, buy all the equipment for the 3D printing, the silicone to make the mother molds, all the plaster, what you have to know about plaster.
Yeah.
How to slip cast correctly.
I totally asked Valeri how much it takes to do a carved mug.
Did you say something?
Yeah. He says the faster carvings take about 5 minutes. And those are the fastest.
5 minutes?
Yeah, they're fast.
Oh, you're talking about the ones that are like the stems
like the
and
flowers.
It's got the,
yeah.
Yeah. But you didn't ask him like end to end how long that single piece takes. You're just talking about just the carving part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The intricate carved, half an hour.
Do you think there's... For me, I like the... Well, for one, I like the balance of having some pieces that are at a higher price point, and by higher, I mean like $60 mug. I don't mean like $100 mug. Having some mugs that are $60 and having some mugs that average out at like $32 or $30, because it just gives you a range. But also, that's going to appeal to different customer bases. I feel like it's going to be harder and cost more money to attain a customer for your $115 mug than it is to get a customer for a $35 mug.
They just sent me a picture.
And they're carving?
Yes.
Nice.
You guys are the cutest. Yeah.
I don't know. In what scenario does a 10 to 15 mug is more profitable than production? If you're making like $20 production mugs? But I mean, is that even comparable?
I don't know.
Because I feel like the profitability, it's only going to be more profitable to sell the fewer items once you're like very skilled.
Yeah.
To where you can sell it for $115.
Or $200 or $300.
And by that point, you already have the customer base that's willing to pay that price. If you're a brand new potter, okay, you can make 40 to 80 mugs and sell them all at one time. And you probably have a better chance of selling those mugs than if you were just starting and you were making very intricate things at $115 and you had no customers yet and you were selling 15 mugs.
Yeah.
Like, I think the people that can make it profitable at that price point for the intricate ones, like, you have to have it's a longer curve to like get to that profitability.
Yeah. And the faster the faster you do things, the faster it's going to take. Like, the longer you do things, the faster it's going to take.
You mean the more experience you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I always think that shitty production is always better than fancy stuff, but that's just because that's how my brain works. Like, I'm a quantity over quality type person any day of the week.
And with quantity will come quality, because you just make so much that you're gonna improve. But you can look. I mean, just think of 10 to 15 mugs. How many pieces are you making in a year for that?
15? I don't even think that 10 to 15 is reasonable. Like, I think, what about like 30?
How many mugs does like another Seattle artist produce every month? Don't you think 15 is reasonable for her? She probably makes about 15.
More.
She sells them for like $350 or
that's
$300.
She's probably the only one that's doing it right. Like, realistically.
I mean, she spends so much time on those pieces, and they're all unique. They're all individual. There's no like I'm
Yeah.
making the same form 3 times. It's like
Yeah.
I have these 2 mugs that are in this style, and
Yeah.
they're a little bit different. And then I have this other, this vase that looks like this, and there's only one
Yeah.
of them. And then
And
there's
it's
this tray
lampshade.
that looks
Yeah.
like this. And then
Okay,
I have
so
this So
okay, but that's
15.
like assuming. But in her case, she is selling them for $300, so that would make it correct in our.
Okay, so is 40 to 80 versus 30 a better gauge? 60 versus 30?
60 versus. Yeah.
I feel like 30's still kind of high if we're comparing it to making 60 pieces in a month.
Yeah, you're right. If I was making pieces, it would be like 120 pieces if I was doing production, because it seems realistic.
That's not realistic for somebody that's.
It is realistic. Like that's only
depends on what you're doing though.
40 pieces a week.
What if you trim every single piece?
You make 40 pieces one day, you trim 40 pieces the next day, and then
What about people that take 6 minutes to throw a piece, 8 minutes to throw a piece? You're throwing 40 pieces, it takes you 8 minutes a piece to throw? No, probably not. Not everybody can throw as fast as you.
I know. But still, like, even if it takes you 20 minutes to throw a piece, that's 20 times 40 is 800 divided by 60 is.
Also, if somebody's new, they're probably not selling a regular basic mug for $35. They're probably
True.
selling it for like $25.
That's only 13 hours to work.
Yeah, it's easy to just look at the math and be like, all right, 13 hours. All right, how much time is wasted? How much time is getting distracted? Add an extra 10 hours to that or something.
Yeah. Pitch Pine, Tara says it takes her 1 to 1.5 hours.
Per mug.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting on the spot.
See, I think the $35 to hit that $35 range, for instance, I think you have to add something extra to it. Like you have to put in a lawn transfer on the mug to sell it for $35.
Okay.
And that's gonna take an extra at least 10, 15 minutes per mug, maybe.
Okay. We'll keep it at the numbers that we had. 15 to 60. We're keeping it at those numbers.
15 to 60. Are we changing the dollar price? Is that what you mean? Because you're probably not going to sell it for $35 unless you're spending more time on it. 20 minutes, putting 20 minutes into it for an everyday person that's making pottery. You think 20 minutes is enough to sell a mug for $35?
Okay. We'll go with 35 minutes.
35 minutes.
Per mug. What's 35 times 60? 35 times 60. Okay. That's 35 hours. That's 40 hours a week, almost.
35 times 60, and then you divide it by hours?
Yeah, and then
You
I
just
divided.
did
I just did it's 35. It's 35.
You said 35 hours. That's not right.
No, it is 35 because it's 35 times 60 divided by 60, so it's 35.
Oh, I got you.
It's literally the same number we started with, but
all right, and then if you're doing 3 hours per
35 hours in a month of making pottery. Let's say.
And then 3 hours per mug at 15 mugs is how many hours? That's 45 hours.
No, let's take that down to like 1.5 hours per mug.
Okay, so what's that come out to?
1.5 times what?
15.
22.5.
So you're working less hours on the fewer pieces.
Okay.
And you're making $400 less. So, I mean, that sounds about right, actually.
that evens out. So if you made 20 pieces in a month,
That's given that you're selling it for $35.
Yeah.
That mug, yeah, that you spent 35 minutes on.
Okay.
There's so many factors that go into it. How fast you throw, how many steps you're doing in it, how you glaze. I mean, some people glazing, if they have to paint glaze on, it takes them 30 minutes to glaze a piece.
Yeah, it's true. I think that what's like super important is just, well, I think figure out what you like to do, because you're going to be spending probably the same amount of time doing it. But like, I think at the end of the day, you just really have to figure out how much that mug is costing you to make and make the price make sense. You know?
I think some people struggle with just throwing a price out.
Yeah.
Like they could feel guilty about, like, I think I need to charge $30 for this.
Yeah.
But I'm not confident in that because I don't think somebody's willing to pay $30 for this. So then you start lowering it because you're lowering your hourly wage basically at that point.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm only going to pay myself $7 an hour or $5 an hour because
right.
I don't think I can sell it for that price.
Mm-hmm.
Or you compare it, you look at somebody else that's selling a mug for $60 and you're like, I can't, like, their mug is way better than mine. Mine is nowhere near that. There's no way I can charge $50 for this mug that took me X number of hours or whatever.
It's so hard, just especially at the beginning. Just knowing that,
Because when you're selling online, I mean, your price is kind of more comparable to other people because you can buy it in the same marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really, the factors of like where you live and cost of living of the maker, like that doesn't factor in when a customer's just shopping online. I don't think they're not thinking about, oh, well, you live in Los Angeles, so your thing is priced higher because of that. I just think they look at it and compare it with other pieces that look similar, and they're like, do I want to pay $80 for this or do I want to pay $60 for this? It's kind of close.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all started with that. It's like, this looks like it should be 25. You just like throw out a number and nobody really thinks about the cost until later down the road. And you're like, oh my God, I'm working so much and I'm not selling enough to make that ends. When you're working 90 hours a week and you're making whatever, like, nothing, then it's like you're just killing yourself for what,
Yeah. That's why I think it's good to have different price point items that, like, maybe you don't only make mugs that are $115. You make some that are lower so that you can actually make a better profit margin on those.
Right.
And you don't hate yourself making them.
That's why I'm doing the shitty cups and the fancy cups.
Yeah. I feel like at that point you're kind of a slave to the pieces that you're making because you're not getting enough money for it. And you don't feel right charging a certain number. But I think with more sales and more customer feedback, you get more confident in the price that you charge. What about going for quality? I think you just have to make a lot of pieces to get that quality. So that's why I'm always for the production.
Yeah, definitely.
Because 60 mugs a month multiplied over 12 months is what? 720 pieces? I think 720 pieces in a 6 times 12, is that 72? Yeah. 720 mugs in a, that's not right. Is that right?
Say it again.
60 times 12 is
720.
720 mugs in a year versus 15 times 12.
180.
180. Yeah. 720 is a lot more repetition than 180.
You're going to learn a hell of a lot more with 720. Ooh, maybe it should be when you start pottery, you should be doing basic bitch mugs. And then once you get good, then you switch over.
Or you start experimenting. I mean,
Yeah, you start experimenting.
I mean, at the base of a fancy mug, it has to be good form, right? It has to have a good basic bitch like form underneath that is appealing, that has good. I mean, they don't have to have perfect function or like the perfect handle if it's like sculptural and like for design's sake. But I mean, it should be functional if it's going to be a functional piece. So yeah, I mean, you have to get good at the quality.
Yeah.
You don't have a nice, heavy, clunky mug that's got this fancy design on it, and it's like, I don't know that I would still pay that because it's kind of heavy, you know?
Yeah. I think what would also be a good idea is, like you said, to have diversity within your, like, what you're doing. And if you're trying to decide what you want to do, like whether you want to do production or whether you want to do more artsy stuff, maybe do 1 month of artsy stuff and 1 month of production and see how you like it, how you liked that month as a whole, and then also how your customers react to that and react to the products and see, because some people don't like the basic stuff and some people like the fancy stuff and vice versa. So like if you're trying to decide, I think that you can make it work financially both ways. It's like you have to make it work. It's not going to just show up working.
Yeah, and also you have to play around with how you're selling it too. Like if you only made fancy stuff, you're going to be very limited if you only sell in-person shows.
Yeah.
Like it might be harder to get those customers to buy, or maybe you're getting enough foot traffic in that one town that you're in or city that you're selling in that it fits that market perfectly and they just fly off the shelves and they sell.
Yeah.
But if you're
making, but if you're making fancy cups and you're giving them to galleries and they're taking 40%, hands down, you're going to be better off doing production and selling in a different way, because that 40%, well, I might be changing my mind mid-sentence.
About the fancy cup selling in a gallery versus the production stuff?
Yeah, because I mean, you still have to pay for shows and shit or do online. I mean, if you could sell the production shit online versus selling the fancy cups in a gallery, you're going to make more online because they're not going to take as much away from you, but you have to have that online clientele.
Yeah. You're in a deeper you're in a bigger sea there online with basic stuff because a lot of people can do that. You have to have something that sets it apart a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look at Gravesco. Gravesco does basic bitch stuff. Like, really, at the end of the day, that's just basic pottery. I mean,
honestly, the price is a little higher than what some other people that make basic stuff is. So there's something that's drawing the customers to that.
Yeah, and she's definitely got that higher quantity, and she's selling wholesale, and she's doing like better than a lot of people are doing when they're making fancy shit,
Yeah.
So yeah. It's fucking hard, man.
I think you gotta kind of analyze where you're. I also factor in like, do I have excess pieces sitting around? If I do, then I need to find other ways to sell it. That's where I'm willing to partner with galleries and stuff like that to let them take a percentage and get them out of my studio so that they're somewhere that can be sold and I can get a cut of that, because I can't physically either list enough stuff online and spend time doing that, or going to more shows and selling more product at shows. I can't do that. So, I mean, I already sell it like 20 shows a year. I can't sell it 40 shows a year doing it part-time.
Yeah.
But I can deliver some to a gallery and keep up with that inventory. So, yeah, there's some options out there. I don't know that we fully give you an answer, but we kind of broke it down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just shows you that it's really hard to know. You really have to do your own research and specifically to what your skill set is and what your what your style is,
Yeah, what your time is good for, and also like if you're not a great production person,
Don't do it.
don't do it, or find ways to make it worth the price that you're going to do it at.
Yeah.
Either way, I think more quantity of pieces is going to help you get better quality and better efficiency over time.
Absolutely.
Always make a lot of pieces.
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
I just want to say that when we teach or when we get a new production potter in the studio, like I'm training one, well, kind of training one right now, and you can absolutely see after 50 of them, it changes. Like 50 to 100.
Are they throwing or they're trimming?
They're throwing. So like Merritt, she did she started with these tiny planters that we have, right? She did her first run, and then I walked her through some steps to do them a little bit better. And then after like 100 of them, she was like, boom, 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 every single one on the money. And it like do 100 of them, like, and also don't discount small things either. If you're like one of those people that's like, I can't do 100 of anything, throw them at 6 ounces. Throw 6-ounce pieces. Like, and just try to make them the same. That'll teach you just as much as throwing a 12-ounce cup.
I rarely make anything heavier than 1.5 pounds. I would say like 75% of my inventory is 1.5 pounds or less of clay.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I know people are like, big pieces really teach you stuff. Yeah, but making really tiny pieces do too. So keep that in mind, because you can't hide things in small pieces. Yeah. Nope. Not at all. You can't
trim away some things, and
yeah,
you really got to get that clay in the right spot for.
And that height, like having the height the same, you know.
Yeah, when you're throwing a 4-pound thing, you're like, I don't know. I mean, it needs to be about 7 inches tall,
yeah, like
but it's
a quarter inch is nothing. But when you're throwing something that's 2 inches tall, a quarter inch is a lot. And so I think that that's something to be said too. Not that we weren't really talking about that, but that's my little nugget at the end.
All right. After that nugget, signing off.
Yeah, we're leaving.
All right.
40 minutes. Peace.
Goodbye. Bye. I don't know how I felt about that one.
I don't either. I'm going to have to listen to that one, like, totally. I'm sorry I got so distracted because I was asking questions to people.
That's all right. All right.
I'll say that.
I didn't think how much the math was going to get in the mix there and be like, you know what? I don't really know how to answer this part.
Are we just making this an episode? Let's just make it a regular episode instead of those shorts.
Even though it's 40 minutes?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, it's going to be episode 109 anyway.
Yeah, so I just say episode 109.
S.
Yeah. Oh, were you... Oh, I'm not going to... I wouldn't do the next... I wouldn't do the next one 109S2 or something, you know?
I had them all in like a... I don't know what I did. Don't worry about me.
They still should be sequential. All right, so what do we call this?
Production
versus fancy?
Yeah, I guess. Quantity versus quality?
No, because you're saying it's versus. Production versus fancy is what I'm going to call it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. We'll call it whatever we want to call it. It's just something to raise our eyebrows at, like, oh, okay. I don't know.
Yes.
Do we want to stop the Skype one so we'll get that video and then we'll start another one for the next part?
Oh, Merritt says that hers take 2 hours, and right now she's selling them for $65 for Tika. Okay. Okay, let's talk to Mari.
Yeah, I think for the textured stuff, like 1.5 hours to 3 hours is probably reasonable for a fancy piece. But a lot of those people that spend 2 hours on a piece, they can only sell it for like $80, you know?
Yeah. Well, she says she's selling them for 65 or 55.
And she's 55 and she's spending 2 hours on it?
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk to her tomorrow about it.
About how she's underpricing your stuff, or
Yes.
who is that? Someone you work with?
Merit, yeah.
Okay. All right, I just saved that one. So we're gonna delete. Let's make sure that's on there before I delete this. Oh man.
You go into how fast you throw, how many steps you're doing in it.
All right, there we go. I was like, I don't hear anything.
I just did it.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. That was a tough question.
Yeah.
Man, so many questions we've answered. All right.
Where's the link for? I want Sean and Valerie or Valerie to be on the podcast.
I think I sent it to you in the chat last time.
God damn it! I need to like save it. I don't.
No, I sent it to you I sent it to you through text, I think, but I don't know. Can you look up past links?
Probably. Let me look.
Ooh, Rachel made popcorn.
Ooh.
Could smell it.
Links. See all.
You got it?
Looking. No.
All right, hang on a second.
Okay, if you send it to me, I'm gonna just create its own, or just create its own note.
I mean, make it a fucking bookmark. Copy. Becca. There we go. That should be an interesting convo. We'll get a lot of new listeners from that. But I want to go out of the ballpark with that discussion.
Okay, I'm sending it to them right now.
And I think we should have both of them on.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because they mix up who does what and
Yeah.
whatnot. Can you like pin? You can't do that.
I put it in its own note.
All right, cool.
And I'm pinning it.
All right, are you going to stop this recording so we can save this video?
Yeah.
From the short one.
Yes. Stop.